Hi, I'm Diane LaFoon, and here I am with your Joy Tip of the Week. We're going to do this every Tuesday around about this time, so please feel free to join in every week on Tuesday afternoons. And please, I want to hear from you. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Give us a like or a heart, and let me know that you're watching and that you're up for a Joy Tip of the Week. So this week's Joy Tip of the Week, actually, I have four tips. Four tips to feel great and choose joy. And I sure appreciate the encouragement and the comments that I got last week. It was very uplifting and gave me a lot of joy. So I do appreciate your feedback. And again, please continue with that because it is very encouraging for me. So last week I did pose the question, what does our physical body have to do with choosing joy? And honestly, if you don't feel good, if you're in pain or if you're miserable, it's going to be really hard to choose joy. And so, taking care of your physical body is very important. And today, I want you to know that growing up, I told you I last week that I've always been more likely to get ill, even as an adult. Thanks for the thumbs up. Even as an adult, I caught everything that came around the bend. And I'm thrilled to let you know that for about the last 10 years, that hasn't been the case. I'm not saying I don't get sick at all. I get sick every now and then, but it doesn't flatten me out, and I don't get sick often. And when I do get sick or get whatever bug is going around, if I get some good rest and I up my ante with my tips for a healthy immune system, then I seem to turn it around very quickly. So I have four tips for you today that I would just encourage you to implement in your lifestyle so that you can feel great and live well too. So the first tip is you've got to realize that what goes in your body matters. And it may sound really cliche. A lot of people say this, but you want to, when you go to the grocery store, you want to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. Stay away from the middle. Do all those fresh things that are on the outside of the grocery store, the perimeter aisles of the grocery store, where there's refrigeration, where the produce is, where the things are in the way God intended them to be, whether they're, they're not doctored up with chemicals and things like that. They're fresh food, they're whole food. Like I said, the way that the Lord has intended them for our use. He's given us everything we need to feed our bodies, and we just feed it with all kinds of crap. When you pick up a box from one of those center aisles and you read the ingredients and you can't decipher some of those ingredients, then it may be time to think, hey, maybe I shouldn't put that in my body. Maybe that's not meant to help my body work properly. So think about those things. Homemade alternatives are always better, and they don't have to take a lot of time. There's lots of tips and things available on Pinterest, or even if you just do a Google search. Oftentimes I'll see what we've got available produce wise or in the fridge, and I'll just Google search those ingredients and come up with a real fast recipe to have for dinner. So I recommend that you do that. Now, I have to tell you that I live in Michigan, and it is a very sad week here in Michigan because this Saturday is the last Saturday, the final day of our local farmers market. So it's hard to choose joy when we know that the farmers market is ending, but we do appreciate that farmers market all summer long, where we can have fresh foods, all summer long that are locally grown and good for us. And that's wonderful. But like I said, this is going away very soon here in Michigan. And so I wanted to give you some tips for how to get the greatest produce you can, when you don't have a farmer's market available. So you really want to buy what is in season and what is grown just recently. And a lot of people don't understand that when you buy an apple, say in the month of May in Michigan, that apple's not going to taste nearly as good as it tastes when you buy an apple right now in Michigan. They're awesome right now. If you buy an apple, they're crisp, they're sweet, they're delicious, and they're full of good things for you. But why is it bad to buy an apple in May? Well, because it's not in season. So what you need to learn about, and this is really easy to learn, there's a website, seasonalfoodguide.org, and you put in your location, you put in the time of year it is, and you put in, what is in season right now. And it'll pop up and it'll tell you all those things that would be good to eat right now. And so I just recommend it. Maybe I'll put it in the comments below. If you're learning how to buy seasonal, in-season foods for your area, this is a great resource, and I just would recommend that you follow through with it and go and see. And a lot of times what is in season in your grocery produce section will be right at the front. They know that you want to buy what's good. So if you look at what's right at the front of the produce section, that's probably going to be where the best things are. So that's a tip. The other tip is that just about any vegetable that you can think of is going to be tasty if you put a little olive oil, salt, and pepper on it and roast it in bite-sized pieces for 20-30 minutes until they're fork tender at like 400 degrees. Simple, easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. And that way you get those good vegetables. And like I said, just about any vegetable, it'll bring out the sugars in the vegetable, which the natural sugars, which are good and sweet and make everything taste better. That salt and pepper will season it up, and that olive oil will just give it that extra special fat that's good for you too. So that's something else that you can do with those good seasonal vegetables. The other thing that's good to know is when to purchase organic and when to purchase non-organic or whatever is available there. And it's important to realize that nearly 70% of the fresh organic produce sold in the U.S. contains potentially harmful chemical residues from pesticides, especially. And so even if you are faithfully washing your produce before you consume it, you're likely internalizing these chemicals. So the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group, has a great guide, and they renew it every year and update it with what's current for finding out what are the dirty dozen produce items, and that's the fruits and vegetables that are likely to contain the most chemical residue from pesticides and things like that. And then they also have a clean 15, which are the fruits and vegetables that may not have as much of that residue, and you could choose to purchase that in non-organic form. So again, I will put that comment with that link in the notes or in the comments here. The link is ewg.org/food news, and it's really a great resource when you're shopping and to find out what you should purchase organic versus what you should purchase just wherever. So that's first. What you put in your body does matter, and of course you want more fruits and vegetables to support that healthy immune system so you feel good. So second tip of the day or the week this week is we got to talk about sugar. And a friend of mine pointed this out to me, and it just makes perfect sense. Is it really cold and flu season from October through the spring? Or is it simply October, we have Halloween candy. Thanksgiving, we have pies and cakes. Christmas, we have cookies and all kinds of sweets, candy canes. We have hot chocolate in January. February, we have Valentine candy, and on until we get to spring and we have our Easter baskets and we have, all the good sugary candies that come in our Easter baskets. And so is it really the cold and flu season, or is it just the holiday season where we're indulging in all these sweets and things that are full of sugar that may not be so good for us? Studies have actually shown that spikes in sugar really suppresses your immune system. And when your immune system is compromised, you're more likely to get sick. It's as simple as that. So consuming sugar lowers the efficiency of your white blood cells, and it does that for several hours, and it's going to inhibit your ability to fight infection and disease. So doesn't that make sense to you that season has a lot of sugar in it, and may be the reason we see so many people who just get undertaken with the infections and sicknesses that are going around. There's a lot of other reasons to eliminate sugar too. It's addictive. It releases dopamine, which feels good, so you want to consume more sugar, and it just becomes this vicious cycle. Sugar actually robs our bodies of essential minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And so this can be hard on our teeth and our bones, and it can weaken them. And there's so much more. I really encourage you to do some research on sugar. Added sugar is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about natural sugar that's found in things naturally like our fruits and vegetables. I'm talking about added sugar. So the thing you do need to know too is that artificial sweeteners are not necessarily a good substitute. Again, let's go back to having food in its purest form, the way God intended. Some great substitutes for sugar include maple syrup. I just made a batch of cornbread last week, and I thought I'm going to put like a tablespoon of maple syrup in here and see how that goes. It was delicious. It sweetened that cornbread right up, and it was wonderful. The maple syrup around here, I'm fortunate to live in maple syrup country too. So that's one thing that's a blessing. Honey is a great natural sweetener. There are lots of different natural sweeteners that are in their natural state as God intended them. Date nectar is another one. There's so many that you can choose from that aren't artificial chemical sweeteners. So I did a little looking into it, and the USDA recommends that we limit our sugar consumption to 8 teaspoons per day. And that is the added sugar, over and above natural sugars that we might experience. But they did say also that the average U.S. citizen consumes about 53 teaspoons of added sugar every day. That's a huge difference. And the problem is this sugar is hidden in a lot of our foods that we don't even realize. There's added sugar in all of the processed foods because they want it, you to like it and come back for it and eat some more. It's hidden in, oh, hi, Angie. I'm so glad to see you here. I'm very, very thankful for your comment. Yes, it is helpful information. Look at you. 8 weeks ago, you've lost 40 pounds. Good for you, girl. Go for it. And sugar's a big problem, isn't it? Because it's hidden in all kinds of things. It's hidden in salad dressings. We think we're eating a salad and it's healthy for us. But our salad dressing has all this added sugar in it. It's in spaghetti sauce, ketchup. Even sometimes you'll buy that frozen fruit and they'll put added sugar in that. You think you're having this great smoothie because you're eating frozen fruit. But it's got added sugar in it. You've got to read your labels. And there's a difference between added sugars and naturally occurring sugar, like I said. And the good news is that the USDA, I believe it is, has decided that we've got to have our labeling a little more efficient in the future. And starting in 2021, you will see naturally occurring sugar listed on your label and then added sugar as well listed on the label. So that's a very good thing that's coming up in the future. Just some things to look for that is considered added sugar is high fructose corn syrup solids, sucrose, fructose, just anything in there that is not necessarily needed to add it to a food to sweeten it up. So, I know it can be overwhelming and, getting rid of all these things from your diet and reading all these labels, it can be very, very daunting. But I would challenge you to consider the 80-20 rule. A lot of health diet gurus, nutritionists, things like that say, try to do good and do well at least 80% of the time. And that 20% of the time that you don't do well, don't beat yourself up over it. You're making the switch, follow that 80-20 rule. You're going to slip up once in a while, but it's just life, get back to it in the morning and start looking for those sugars again and eliminating them from your diet. So third tip of the day here is to take your vitamins. I am a terrible pill taker. I have never liked taking pills and I've always avoided it. But as we age, especially, the foods and things that we get don't always have all the same nutrition that they used to because the soil's depleted. We don't get all the minerals that especially that are so important to our bodies to help them do well. And so you need to take common sense vitamins to help your immune system out, especially during this season coming up. Things like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B, zinc. But more importantly than taking those vitamins is the source, where you're getting those vitamins and what they are made of and what is also included in them and what's called their bioavailability. Do they actually get absorbed by your body or are you just eliminating them and they're just, kind of cruising through and not really having any effect on your body? So I know that when you take a supplement, it's very important that that supplement get into your cells. And in my 10 years of education, 11 years of education about using essential oils, what I have learned is that because essential oil molecules are so teeny, teeny, tiny, microscopic, they have the ability to penetrate through cell walls and they do get into your every cell of your body, which is exciting. Because when you take vitamins that also contain essential oils, that's getting those minerals, those supplements, those things that you need into every cell in your body. And of course, I recommend Young Living essential oils supplements because every one of their essential oil or every one of their supplements actually also contains essential oils. And so that's getting to every cell in your body. It's not wasted. It's bio available, and they're getting absorbed by your system. So you want to be sure to find good quality vitamins that are getting absorbed. And let me just tell you a quick little story about my friend Morgan. Morgan's a sweet girl. She's on her third pregnancy now, and she has always had issues with maintaining good levels of vitamin D, especially through pregnancy. She's always been monitored for that. And she's never found a vitamin D supplement that would bring up her vitamin D levels in her system. And I will tell you that Young Living just this summer released a vitamin D supplement. And I believe it was after just 2, maybe 4 weeks of taking this supplement, her physician was astounded at how her vitamin D levels did actually come up to where they needed to be. And she feels that it's because she's got these new bioavailable vitamins from Young Living that also have essential oils in them that are delivering that vitamin D to every cell in her body. So look into Young Living supplements. I'm glad to help you if that's something that you'd like to do. So finally, my favorite way to nourish my body, to support my immune system, it is the one product that I hope I never have to do without. I even brought a bottle of it to show you. It is my Ningxia Red. And this is it's really a great nutrient-rich drink that's infused with superfruits. It's got all kinds of antioxidants, both from essential oils and from lots of juice products. It really is mainly, if you can look here, I wonder if you can see, this has been sitting here. You can see this on the bottom is called wolfberry puree. It separates, so you have to shake it up when you drink it. But this right here is the big dog in the drink, let me tell you, because that is the seeds, the peel, the flesh, everything about the wolfberry goes into that wolfberry puree. And it really has a great blend of nutrients from this fruit. And if you want to do a little research on wolfberry and its health benefits, there's all kinds of great stuff out there. But just so you know, this wolfberry puree that's in this Ningxia Red juice, it has every essential amino acid that is required by the body, and it contains 13% protein, which is the highest amount of protein in any fruit that's available. So, like I said, Google, what's the health promoting properties of wolfberries, and you'll find that they're pretty incredible. So, there's other fruit juices as well and fruit concentrations in this Ningxia Red, including aronia berry, blueberry, cherry, pomegranate, plum. And so, all of these together provide a wide spectrum of antioxidants that will energize you, it'll fortify that immune system, and it'll replenish your body in the areas that it needs replenishing as well. It's just a whole body goodness. So the other thing I love about my Ningxia Red is, of course, it contains essential oils. It's a distinctive feature of this antioxidant drink. I don't know of any other antioxidant beverage out there that contains essential oils like this, and these are pure therapeutic essential oils: orange, tangerine, lemon, and yuzu. And they are all very powerful. They all contain D-limonene and limonene, and they also enhance the flavor and make it delicious as well. But there's something, again, that you should research. Why do we need D-limonene and limonene? It's great benefits from those essential oils in there. And so they work all together, and it makes this delicious total body wellness juice. And so just like I mentioned with the supplements, when you drink Ningxia Red, because it's infused with those essential oils, it is going straight to every one of your cells, and it's penetrating through those membranes and taking those nutrients where they need to go. And so, it's just 2 ounces a day every morning is what I take. Some people take 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces later in the day as well, especially if you're wanting to beef up your strength and your fortify your immune system. That's something that definitely you can do. But I have to tell you, everything that you're learning from me, I'm not a medical professional. This is just my own personal experience. I've been doing this 11 years now, and I found some great tips. And but look to some of the medical professionals and what they have to say. One of the people that I have learned a great deal from, his name is Dr. Olivier Wanker, and he used to be at MD Anderson down in Houston. He's a very well respected doctor. He's an MD, and he said that 1 2-ounce serving of Ningxia Red juice, this is what I drink every morning, gives us enough antioxidant power to fight free radicals and then some. And so it's just the best way to prepare your body for the day, as far as I'm concerned. The other thing about Ningxia Red is it not only has the water-soluble antioxidants, it also has the fat-soluble antioxidants. And Dr. Mercola has done a lot of research and talks a lot about how you need both water-soluble and fat-soluble. The water-soluble antioxidants are vital because they perform actions in the fluid that are inside and outside the cells, but the fat-soluble ones actually work inside the cell membranes. And so again, our body is all these cells that need our help. And so it's just a vital way to support a healthy body, having all these antioxidants. So the thing that's unique about Ningxia Red, obviously I've said that, is that they introduce people to consumption of therapeutic essential oils. The thing about essential oils, and this is something that I learned from Dr. Wanker, they don't require digestion or metabolism or circulation. Because essential oils are so volatile, the minute they hit your tissue, they are infused into your cells. And so it's just a great way to support a healthy body. And remember, when you have a healthy body and a well-supported immune system, it's going to be easier to choose joy every day. You're going to feel better more often, and you're going to have that opportunity to choose joy every day. So, it's funny. My mom, she and I were taking our Ningxia Red this morning, and she looked at me and she said, you can either choose to invest in prevention or you'll have to invest in the cure later on. And I'm so thankful that she and I and most of my family choose to invest in prevention by drinking our daily dose of Ningxia Red every morning. So next Tuesday, we'll be back, same time, same place. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear more from you and about your experiences with sugar, with shopping at the grocery store, with ways you choose produce, with the supplements that you've experienced. And I just want to remind you that joy is not something that happens to us. Joy is something that we must choose every single day. Goodbye, everybody.